Uluru is an explosives-focused engineer, with his ultimate ability being the Loitering Munition. This is a guided rocket you can fire. It has a 2-minute cooldown and up to 160 meters range. If you hold down the button to fire this, you'll stay in this camera view and you can guide the rocket and try and steer it to wherever you want it to explode. When the rocket connects, that's going to deal damage then, and it also will drop 3 more small explosives, which will cause further damage when they explode a couple of seconds afterwards. When you're firing this, you can hold down shift to make it travel faster, but it won't go quite as far. And you can also just click to fire this if you want with no guidance, if you want to just fire it at someone from fairly close range. Armor will reduce some of the damage, but if you manage to get a direct hit, they're potentially going to be hit by 4 explosions with the initial one and then the 3 small ones afterwards, which can deal a ton of damage. If you want, you can also use this just for getting a bit of recon, because it does give you a flying camera that you can fly over a pretty long distance to look over walls or through windows and all sorts of things like that. Just be careful though, as enemy players can shoot down the rocket when it's traveling through the air, and it does move pretty slowly, so can be an easy target. For his first gadget, Uluru has the Quickset cover. This is a thrown concrete piece of cover that sticks to the ground and also to the side or even undersides of almost any surface. You can put it on the side of a rock or a tree or a box. You can put it on the ground. So you can make some pretty interesting bits of cover using this. You have 2 of these available and they're on a 55-second cooldown each, and they do automatically break after 1 minute, so they don't last forever, but the cooldown for them does begin as soon as they are thrown, so you don't have to wait for them to break and then the cooldown starts. They will start recharging once they've been deployed, so you can use them very regularly. They are fairly hard to break with gunfire, but they can be shot out, but they will break very easily with explosives or particularly with fire. You can sprint vault over these, but otherwise they can be a little awkward to get past, so they're good for blocking up corridors sometimes and just making situations a bit tricky for enemy teams to deal with. His second gadget is the Composite Incendiary. This is a thrown incendiary grenade, a fire grenade. You've got 2 of these available on 45-second cooldowns. They're great for blocking routes to stop teams pushing, and they'll do a large amount of damage to people in the fire area. It's about 18 hit points per tick, and they're quick ticks. You can't stay in there long or you will just drop. And once they leave the fire, they will stay on fire afterwards, but it only does a tiny bit of damage then. It's a bit more distracting than damaging. You take like 1 HP every couple of seconds. They can put that out manually. It will be annoying if they're on fire. It's going to make them flinch and make it a little hard to fight, but it doesn't actually do a ton of hit point damage when they're on fire, but not within the original fire zone. If they don't move out of the actual flames, then they're going to be dead in 2 to 3 seconds. These incendiaries also break the Quickset cover very, very quickly. Uluru's passive is Battle Hardened. This gives him stronger resistance to the effect of limb fractures and slowing effects from enemy operators, such as Shepard's sonic paralysis.